There's more on the turning point facade, the ersatz, the synthetic, the turning point facade. Why Candace Owens is right and correct to demand answers on Charlie Kirk's legacy and Erica's rapid takeover. Seismic. Wasn't that interesting? Ah, yes, my friends. The last time we checked in the wake of Charlie Kirk's tragic dispatch for the 10th of September last year in Utah Valley, at Utah Valley University, conservatives, alleged conservatives, so that's what they call them, but conservatives across America mourned the loss of a fiery voice for the next generation. I submit it goes even further than that and beyond that. Not just the next generation, people just loved him. So Charlie Kirk built Turning Point USA, TPUSA, into a powerhouse. He mobilized young people against the rigors and the horrors of woke indoctrination on campuses. And his energy was unmatched, unrivaled, non-parallel, certainly. But mere days after his death, 8 to be precise by our best calculation, the board unanimously installed his widow, Erica Kirk, as CEO and chair. No public vetting, no transparent process, just a swift handoff that raised eyebrows, except for Ben Shapiro's eyebrows, which you would need a forklift, but I digress. But people said, wait a minute, especially among those who knew the organization's inner workings, what's this all about? To bring you up to speed. Now, enter Candace Owens, a longtime ally, great friend of Charlie Kirk's in the fight for truth. Candace Owens has refused to stay silent. That's for show. She's questioned the narrative, leaked audio, and highlighted inconsistencies, and demanded the release of supposed footage from an Aspen donor retreat in August of 2025. That's where all of this surrounds. Now, for this, she's been painted, of course, as a conspiracist, a conspiracy theorist, a nut, a tinfoiler, a troublemaker, even, dare I say, disloyal. But a close look and a close inspection at the facts reveal that Owens isn't manufacturing drama. She's insisting on accountability. Accountability in an organization that claims to champion transparency and limited government, but oftentimes does not. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. The refusal on their part to release basic, obvious evidence speaks, don't you think, volumes? I do. Candace does as well. So the Aspen video that isn't public, this is the new layer of this. You see, the latest chapter comes via the Daily Mail. And they, let's face it, they're interesting. They're great, kind of tabloidy, but I'm not going to say they have an agenda, but they have an agenda. And the agenda sometimes switches, but nonetheless, it's not so much that it's the news, it's what they're telling you what the news is, what they would like you to think what the news is. So the Daily Mail, by the way, which published a piece detailing an exclusive screening of the Aspen video. Isn't that interesting? They detailed an exclusive screening of this Aspen video, which apparently they saw. Now, according to the report, Charlie Kirk responded to a donor's question about succession by saying he would appoint Erica to run TPUSA if anything happened to him. Quote, this is the quote from this, Erica would do a great job, he allegedly reassured the room. Isn't that interesting? Lo and behold, he said, this is what I would want. This is whom I would select. My wife, after I made it clearly known that women, he believed, should stay home and take care of their family, except for Erica, because her ability to coalesce, to run, to steward the helm of this corporate juggernaut is so great that whatever rules he had about parenting should be suspended because you just don't let this kind of talent just walk away. Now, the Daily Mail claims that they viewed the full footage and spoke to attendees. Yet, TPUSA won't release it publicly. Why do you think that is? Doesn't that make the most sense to you? Why? Why? Donors' privacy, they say. But this is Charlie, not donors. Let's see what Charlie said. Let's have somebody review it to see if it's AI. One anonymous board member told the Daily Mail that Charlie and Erica had discussed estate planning and, quote, everybody knew the plan. Friends claimed he publicly and frequently spoke of her taking over. Convenient testimony, don't you think, from unnamed sources after the fact, kind of a post hoc review. So Candace Owens and a lot of us who aren't buying it. If the video clears everything, why the secrecy? TPUSA has released other materials selectively, audio clips and statements, but not the raw footage that would and could and absolutely would end the debate. Why do you think that is? Blacking out faces or muting identities is standard in 2026. It's not rocket scientist. The donor who supposedly asked the question doesn't want exposure? Fine, edit it. Do one of those whatever, or eliminate it. Nobody wants that. It's not the donor question. The reluctance suggests, my friend, that the clip may not be as ironclad as portrayed. Do you think? Do you think? See, Candace Owens, our beloved Candace, has hammered this point relentlessly. She shared accounts from donors, President Aspen, who say Erica wasn't even mentioned in succession talks. Multiple sources told her the audio released by TPUSA sounds manipulated. Ersatz, synthetic, fake, fugazi. Candace isn't alone. Former employees and chapter leaders have echoed this sentiment and these doubts repeatedly. One chapter president resigned amid the controversy. Now, this isn't fringe conspiracy, that word again. It's insiders questioning a power grab that feels rushed and artificial and, dare I say, opportunistic. Now, as far as Erica's leadership, merch sales over mission. You see, Candace didn't stop at the video. She released leaked audio from Erica addressing TPUSA staff just 11 days after Charlie's death. In it, Erica reportedly congratulated the team on strong memorial attendance, merch sales, merchandise donations, giddily. The tone struck many as celebratory rather than grief-stricken. It was Glengarry Glen Ross, coffees for closers. Turning a husband's memorial into some kind of some merch or some merchandise or business review session was just, it was tacky. Not only that, it's tone deaf at best and mercenary at worst, and so unbecoming. But then again, try to tell or explain to Erica what's classy. Explain to her what's over the top. Many people, those of us who are suspicious, point to broader shifts around and under Erica. TPUSA under Charlie endorsed principled fighters like Representative Thomas Massey. Now, reports are indicating they're withholding endorsement despite Charlie's praise for him. Why do you think that is? I think you know why that is. Direction feels softer, more corporate, less like the scrappy campus disruptor that Charlie built. And former employee Aubrey Leach went public, claiming that she was fired for questioning the new regime and the official story around Charlie's death. An Uber driver anecdote, that's still one of the best. This anecdote involving executive gossip, it's ridiculous. It paints a picture of paranoia and purges. Alliterative, yes, but nonetheless true. This is look, you know what's going on. When will they? Candace Owens has chronicled this in podcasts and posts repeatedly, dubbing aspects of The Bride of Charlie in her commentary. And she's also faced incredible backlash and threats and accusations of disloyalty. Yet, her questions persist because the timeline doesn't add up for many. Charlie, at 31, was in his prime. He was by a 22-year-old with a rifle from a rooftop that can't be matched to anything. Tyler Robinson, whose case has its own evidentiary debates. We're going to be talking about that. And then the immediate succession, leaked celebratory audio, video hidden behind privacy. It invites and begs scrutiny and suspicion. Candace Owens is a truth seeker, not a divider. You know it and I know it. The people who hate her, by the way, call her a grifter. A grifter, her. Stirring division on the right. How is she grifting? What is she benefiting from this? Oh, people always say, well, it helps her podcast or YouTube. The Charlie Kirk Show does this. You can't claim that today. Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody is speaking. You can't claim you're merely doing this just to sell, just to boost your metrics. But her record shows incredible consistency. She challenges power even when it's uncomfortable, and even when it hurts, and even when it's unpopular. She's clashed a gazillion times with TPUSA before over Israel, campus strategies, and more. Post-dispatch, she asked the questions that others whispered. Was there a real succession plan? Come on. Why no video proof? How did Erica, previously involved in other ventures, suddenly embody the mission so perfectly? The perfect fit. And Erica fans, who I really don't believe they're Erica fans. I think they are Candace detractors. But they argue that she was Charlie's closest confidant, immersed in the vision. Board members back her. Donors allegedly, putatively knew. But in conservative circles, as they keep calling it, the prize questioning and the suspicion and the skepticism of institutions, the trusty experts and anonymous insiders, rings, well, exceedingly hollow. Nobody's buying it. TPUSA isn't a family business. It's a major, huge, nonprofit juggernaut with donor dollars and cultural influence. And young activists deserve transparency and the truth about who leads the charge against leftism and wokeism on campuses. That's what we're talking about here. The Daily Mail's exclusive access feels like, well, what else does it feel like? Damage control after the fact? Paywalled or selective reporting doesn't quell doubts. By the way, this was paywalled. And it fuels them. You see, if the video exists, and if it exonerates, release it. Release a redacted version. This isn't brain surgery. Let the public judge. Let people see. What are you hiding? Candace Owens' demand is simple. Prove it. Prove it, schmucks. Prove it. The organization stonewalling, coupled, by the way, in addition to firings of skeptics and shifting priorities, all of it suggests they fear, they are terrorized by scrutiny, more than they can handle, that they can deal with. And the broader implications for the movement is important. See, Charlie Kirk's end, his removal, his expurgation, it shocked people. Not on the right, it shocked everybody. It highlighted real threats from radicals, but the aftermath risks something, I don't want to say even worse, but risks eroding whatever is left of trust within the conservatism movement or whatever this was before. TPUSA thrived on authenticity. Charlie debating students, calling out hypocrisy, bravely, without corporate polish, and by the way, without meanness, without being opprobrious or inappropriate. Erica's era feels, well, beyond scripted. I keep saying performative. It's choreographed. Less combative, and it's all insincere. And she thinks she couldn't even answer the question whether she was married, whether she married Charlie, whether she was a virgin. Remember that one? Trust Jesus. I think we know the answer to that. Candace Owens, God bless her. Her pushback, her resistance keeps the pressure on. And it prevents the organization from drifting into some kind of irrelevance or capture. And this isn't, by the way, about personal beef. It's about legacy. Charlie Kirk built something to outlast him. And if Erica is the rightful heir, great. Show the work. Show them. Let's see it. What are you hiding? Release the video. Put this to bed. We'll say, okay, thank you. Address the audio leaks. Reaffirm endorsements. Talk about this. Reaffirm all of this, endorsements and a movement and a direction that aligns with Charlie's principles. Transparency would absolutely silence completely the people who are giving him the most problems, like Owens. This is the most important. It would silence critics. It would silence people like Candace and you and me and everybody else faster than any anonymous board. Look, instead, we in the world get excuses. Privacy for a succession announcement at a donor event? Seriously? If you're trying to run that organization, the one thing you want to do is you want to instill trust, and you want to make sure people understand it completely. Donors attend these knowing that the remarks can leak. Of course, that's politics. And by the way, what is so wrong if you're going to say that Charlie said, "I want my wife to be my successor," if he's already said it, then just show people. See, the real concern seems to be public dissection of the moment. See, body language and context and exact wording. In an AI era, skepticism of unauthenticated clips is beyond rational. It's not radical, it's rational. Candace Owens has rightly called for kind of a forensic level proof, and the time for accountability is now. Candace Owens embodies, listen to me, what Charlie championed: questioning narratives, demanding evidence, refusing to bow to institutional pressure, to speak the truth, to be fearless. Her dubiousness and skepticism of the TPUSA transition isn't betrayal, it's vigilance. And the right, or whatever these people are, I guess they're the right, has lost too many leaders to complacency or infiltration. Post Charlie Kirk, the movement needs fighters, not figureheads, not corporate bobbleheads installed overnight. And as of May 2026, the Aspen footage remains unreleased despite daily calls for it and despite people having seen it. Former staff speak out. Priority shift. Candace Owens continues pressing, undeterred, undaunted, unflappable by these libelous smears. She's doing the public service of scrutiny that TPUSA, ironically, claims to teach students but won't do itself. Conservatives or whoever these people are should thank her, not cancel her. If the video is totally legit, as the Daily Mail claims, prove it. Prove it publicly, so be it. Until then, the doubts, the suspicions, it lingers for good reason. Charlie Kirk deserved better. Charlie Kirk deserved better. He deserves justice rather than this vague and this opaque, handover, this supposed endorsement. His organization and the broader America First issue, remember that one? They all deserve the same transparency, the same truth, the same focus that is demanded from everyone else. It is that simple. My friends, this is such a critical issue, and all it would take to simply answer this is just show this video. But they won't. They won't in a weird way, because if I didn't know better, I think they love the appearance of duplicity. I really do. I know it sounds crazy. I think they love it. What do you think, my friends? I've got some questions for you. What do you think about this? What should Candace do? And do you buy this story? Why aren't they just showing you the video? And you know and I know. I can't say this, but I'll bet you anything there is no video, or it's AI, or it's phony, or somehow it'll be lost through spoliation, kind of like the critical Tyler Robinson interrogation tape. Oops, sorry, where'd they go? So my friends, I want to hear from you. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And I've got some questions for you, 5 critical questions for you to answer. This is really important. And I want you to really listen to me, because I need you to answer and to comment as you see fit.